Wayne Decker.
Oh, there you go. Everybody but Sarah, that may sound. Sarah, that may sound.
Excuse me. Get that ugly guy here.
First of all, I want to welcome you to the Ravenna Army Ammunition Plant, Ravenna Arsenal Incorporated, the APCO Fish and Wildlife Club. I want to introduce you to the President of Thornton in Area 4. Area 3, George Wilcox will be warden today. Rick Bowman is the normal warden who's working. Area 2 will be Larry Johnson. Area 1 is stuck with myself, Ray McDaniels. I'm the chief warden in Area 1. Basically, we're going to be hunting in 4 areas. Each of these 4 areas are going to be subdivided in 4 or 5 more areas. You will be with a warden or deputy warden all day. You will be on stand approximately 2,500 feet from the next stander or a half mile. When we put you on stand, the quickest way to get out of here is to move off that stand. We want you to stay put. You will be given explicit instructions by the warden putting you on stand as to how much you can travel and whatever on that particular stand. But do not move from that stand. If you wound a deer or kill a deer, attach the temporary tag, field dress it in the field, bring it out to the road. At that point, the warden will pick you up. We'll attach the permanent state tag, and you'll be free to go. There's going to be one interruption on the way out. We're going to stop at a check station inside the plant, and to the best of my knowledge, there will be people there from the Department of Health to spot check the deer. And I think basically what they're looking for is the deer tick, not the wood tick, but the deer tick, which is the carrier of Lyme's disease. I do not know of any reported cases in the area, but I know they're checking northeastern Ohio for the tick at this time. It is not a large tick as the wood tick. It is a small tick, not much larger than the pin of the head. The head of a pin, if it bites, it causes a rash condition, followed by fever and other symptoms, very much like rheumatoid arthritis. If you have any of these symptoms from hunting in any part of the country, contact a doctor and tell him that you have been in the field and you've had possibility of being bit. It is curable with antibiotics. It is not that serious if it is reported. If it's not reported and treated as arthritis, it'll only get worse and can become very serious. But so much for that. No binoculars, cameras, matches, lighters are allowed in the plant. If you have any of the such, especially strike anywhere matches, give them to us here, we'll get rid of them. Smoking in the plant. You'll field strip all cigarettes. If you've been in the military, you know what I'm talking about. You'll field strip it. You'll take the paper and the filter with you. You can scatter the tobacco on the ground, but do not throw butts on the ground in the installation. A lot of areas you'll be in will be no smoking areas you can't even smoke in the stands you are, because you'll be in explosive storage areas. Going out on the trucks, I want to warn you now, we're going to be on pickups, small trucks. I want, if they're got caps on them, fine. But I want the tailgates closed as long as personnel is in them. Now once your butt's on the bed of the truck, if it's an open truck specifically, I don't want you sitting on the sides, on toolboxes, or boxes above the bed rails of the truck. I want you sitting on the floor of the truck with the tailgate closed. The speed laws in here, the people are driving slow, whatever, but nevertheless, we want you down in the bed of the truck. We don't want you up where there's any possibility that you could fall out or whatever. Gun safety. When you're put on stand, well, first of all, you're only allowed 3 shells in a gun. If you've got an automatic or a pump gun, it's got to be plugged, not over 3 shells in it at any time. Have the gun, either in the case going out or the action open. Make sure, once you're in the field, if you're picking up other hunters later in the day or that, and they're coming back to the truck, they've just shot a deer or something, they're excited, they have not unloaded the gun, make sure that nobody gets onto a truck with you with a loaded gun. We put these people specifically at this distance to try to prevent the possibility of any way of them shooting another hunter. So the first thing they do, the first Saturday we done this several years ago, the guy shoots his own finger off. He got some snow in the barrels, digging it out, and Marine Corporal shot the end of his finger off. There's no snow out there today, but there is mud. But make sure if you get any obstruction in the gun barrel that you clear it sensibly and make sure that it is empty of ammunition before you do it. You'll stay on the ground, you'll climb no trees, high stumps or whatever. You'll stay on the ground. Those sidearms are allowed in the plant. The only permit you can use in here, regardless of what you read in Outdoor Ohio and some other magazines and publications, is the permanent deer stamp. You cannot use the antlerless deer permit in the Ravenna Arsenal. You can only use it in 11 designated counties in southeastern and south central Ohio. So if any of you plan to use that license in here, you cannot. You can only use the permanent license in the plant. If any of you have a health problem, notify the warden or the person placing you out. All we want to know is what your condition is. You're here, we will live with it, we will assist you in every way we can, but be sure you let us know. It won't handicap you at all. We'll make sure that we'll provide for you. We don't want you dragging the deer out of the boonies if you've got a bad heart or something. We've got people in here that are experienced, trackers, whatever. The same if you cripple a deer and the deer takes off. If it's in with a reasonable distance, I'm saying 100, 200 yards, the blood trail is strong, fine. If it isn't, come back to the road and wait for one of our people to go in with you, because you do not know where the standers are in the radius around you. And within a half a mile, there's somebody in every direction. And we don't want you walking out into one of these people and getting shot where they're shooting at a deer, misses it, puts you in the line of fire. We have experienced people. They're good at tracking deer. We don't have snow today, but they're still good at tracking deer, providing we don't get too much rain later in the day. But don't take off following that deer. Come back out to the road. One of our people will go in and help you get it out. We want every deer that's crippled harvested if possible. If a badly crippled deer comes by you, dispatch it. The only thing else you can shoot in here today besides deer is dogs. We have a problem in the plant with feral dogs. If they come in the area, shoot them, because they're going to chase a deer out of the area anyway. Any deer that you want to harvest is harvestable in here. So if you want a little one, you shoot it, tag it. That's all I ask. I can't tell you what to fill your license with. That's up to you, but make sure that the deer you harvest, you tag, get it out to the road, we'll get a temporary tag on, we'll get it out of here today. These RAI permits that we've given you, that's the one on the back here, similar. They must be out when we go into the plant so we can see them. You've got to return them tonight when you come out, or whatever time you get out. When you harvest a deer, we can bring you out at that point. The state metal tag must be on the deer before it leaves the plant. We have them in the field, we'll put them on in the field, but by any reason, don't leave this plant without this permanent state tag on it. Hunters are not guaranteed a deer by no means here. If you remember, back about 5 years ago, we were hunting 9 days. We took 1,350 some deer at that point. We're cutting back the hunt days as the herd is becoming under control and whatever. The deer trails are not like boulevards out there any longer. The browse line is coming back down. The herd is in control. And this is why we're only hunting 4 days this year, shotgun. We hunted 4 days of bow. We took 83 deer in bow. In fact, the best day we had in bow was the day it rained the hardest. We got over 1 inch of rain in 1 hour, and it rained all day, and we harvested. The group that was with me, probably a better percent than you're going to harvest today, because we harvested better than 55% that day. But nevertheless, if I would estimate possibly somewhere around 50% of the people here today. So don't pass up. You're not going to see deer as tales of yesteryear and whatever are. They're not here. If you stay still, stay alert, your chances of harvesting a deer are pretty good, providing you don't shoot at the deer. Pick out a specific part of the deer to shoot. We find people can shoot a woodchuck far easier with a slug than they can a deer. Because when they see a deer, they pull the trigger, and when they see a woodchuck, they aim at it. But if you'll aim at the neck, the chest, a specific part, your chances of harvesting the deer are a lot better. But to look out there and see a deer and start shooting does not work. It's like shooting into a flock of ducks. And this has been typical. Over the years, it's taken about 65 rounds to kill a deer. And if you don't believe it, I've got 30-some years in here, and we would count on drives the number of shots, and when the drive was over, 65, 70 shots were fired, 1 or 2 deer killed. And it's held pretty well true. You'll hear a lot of shooting today, especially early in the morning. Typically this early in the year, it's going to get very sour, dry after 9 o'clock. It usually picks up around 3 in the afternoon to 5. Those are usually the prime harvest times, although it can happen anytime. We're just before a front coming in, so the chances are they could be moving up till noon or later today, because the storm front is supposed to be in this afternoon, rain, whatever. Do we have any quick questions?
Albinos? Albinos?
Albinos, anything, whatever. I don't think there's an albino in here. There's some pinos in here. We're going to leave here. I want Area 4 to go first. They'll assemble south of the building here. They're going to enter between here. Area 3 will get all your gear and assemble up on the lawn just beside them. And as soon as Area 4 is in, Area 3 will go in, 2 will follow, and then 1. So don't intermix them. Let's go out, harvest something, kill a deer.